Hey, it's Mike with TechPB.com. I know it's been a little while since I put a show out, but just wanted to let you guys know. Found out a few weeks ago that me and my wife are pregnant, and we're having twins, which I'm really excited about. But that's why I haven't put out a show in a few weeks. Definitely no problems with fertility here. Anyway, all right, today's show is about loaders. I get emails all the time. Mike, I'm shooting a VL200. Should I upgrade my loader? Yes, upgrade your loader. Have you ever seen those movies where the bad guy goes to shoot and he pulls the trigger and it goes click? That's you, okay? When you have one of these, you're going to be missing shots when you're out there playing. Definitely get rid of this. Sure, it came with your gun, or you got it at the store, but you definitely want one of the first things you want to do is upgrade your loader. Okay, now I know there's a lot of different choices of loaders that are out there. You've got the Q loader, Pulse, Torque, Quantum, which is the biggest piece of shit. That's worse than muzzle loading. And for you guys that just started playing paintball, muzzle loading is when you have your gun and you put the paintballs in there one at a time. Okay, the Quantum is worse than that. So if you have a Quantum, throw it away. But the world, for the most part, the paintball world is divided up between two loaders. Okay, they've got the Halo style loader, because there's the Halo, there's the Reloader B, the Reloader B2, plus all the boards that it comes with, the Virtue board, the Cheetah board, the Victory board, and then obviously you have the Vlocity, which the Vlocity, now you mostly have the Vlocity Junior and the regular Vlocity. Now what I want to try to do is, no disrespect to the Q loader, the Pulse, or the Torque, but I'm just going to talk about the view loaders and now the key action products, which is the Halo, the Reloader B, and the Reloader B2. Okay, first thing I'll start off with is the Vlocity. Okay, obviously when JT first came out with these, when Vloader first came out with this, there was a little bit of problems with them. They had the ghost problems. I had a couple of them that had the ghost problem. It was where the loaders didn't seem to want to feed any faster than 13 to 15 balls per second. Okay, they fixed that now. They've got the programming under control. These things are working great. Here's what I'll say, probably the pros and cons on this. Okay, the cons are with the Vlocities. You have to remember to turn it on and turn it off at the beginning and at the end of every single game. If you leave this on when you go into the pits, you're going to eat batteries like crazy. The Vlocities do eat batteries. They are also the lightest loader that's out there right now. The Vlocities are extremely light. And something else I really like about the Vlocities is that the feed neck is the same thing as the Raceway. It's all one piece. So if you break your feed neck, you can go to VLoaderParts.com and get a new one shipped to you for about $5, as opposed to the Halo. If you break your feed neck, you're now out $30 for a new shell. So Vlocity, if you're looking at what kind of person would want to get a Vlocity, okay, these are awesome loaders. I've given both of these loaders. They're amazing. I know everyone's going to go crazy when they you're talking shit about the Vlocity, you're talking shit about the Empire, the Reloader, the Halo. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you the difference. Vlocity, very lightweight. Also, the customer service from JT has really stepped it up. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Nathan Greenman's doing over there. Veronica Austin, the customer service at JT Sports at Vloader has really stepped it up within the past year. So definitely kudos to them. So once again, Vlocity, very lightweight. Break the feed neck, it's only about a $5 part, but it eats batteries. Okay, let's go on here to the Vlocity Junior. Vlocity Junior is a little bit more inexpensive than the regular Vlocity. One thing I do like about it is that it has a larger mouth to feed paintballs into. It comes with only one setting, as opposed to the Vlocity, the regular Vlocity, I believe comes with 8 or 6, I'm not sure. But it only comes with one setting, which is about on setting number 2. Now you can hear it. You can hear it and you can see it. It does spin when it thinks there's a paintball in the feed neck, so it does have a little bit of tension on the ball stack. Keeping up at 15 balls per second or 13 balls per second is no problem at all with the Vlocity Junior. I know they were a little slow in releasing the speed feeds for these, but I do have a mod up that shows you how to install a speed feed into a Vlocity Junior, a regular Halo speed feed. And for you guys that thought that you destroyed your loader by putting 2 tiny holes in it, there's the little holes, one on one side, one on the other. No problems closing or opening up the lid. Okay, now let's go through the Halos, the Empire, the Reloader B, and the Reloader B2. Okay, Halo obviously is the one that started it all. They make an amazing product. One all-around recommendation I would make is the extended spring. I don't know if you can see it inside there or not, but ShockTech makes a spring, an anti-jam spring that goes inside the halos. You can get them for about $2 if you look around. Those work really well. Halo, one thing I do like about the Halo, just the standard Halo and also the Victory board, is you can leave it on all day. So you turn it on in the morning and you can just leave it on all day. It's not going to keep trying to twist, because once it senses that there's a ball blocking the eyes, it's just going to stop spinning. So you can leave it on all day. You don't have to worry about turning it on or turning it off. Good loaders. They weigh a little bit more than the Vlocities, but they definitely work great. Okay, Empire B2, the Reloader B2. Reloader B2s are brutal on paint if you have the loader set up a little bit too high. Okay, Reloader B, anything above setting number 2, setting number 3 especially, you are going to blend paintballs. These things are very fast. They put an incredible amount of torque on the ball stack at setting 3 and even at setting 2. So when you're shooting a Reloader B, definitely be really careful about how high you turn the setting up. Sometimes setting 2 with fresh batteries, and especially on setting 3, you're going to be pushing your balls past the detents. And the new loader they came out with, the B2, I've been shooting the B2 now probably for about 6 months. I've probably put about 60 cases through it. And the B2 is working very well. You can leave the B2 on all day, unlike the Reloader B, which you have to turn off and turn on. Other than that, when you're in the pits, it'll have a tendency to really try to twist. The B2, for some reason, doesn't do that. So you can leave the B2 on all day. But that should break it, really try to break these down. Now, something interesting that's happened in the past couple of months is obviously PSP has done a rate of fire drop. They dropped the rate of fire from 15 to 13 balls per second, which is kind of interesting because now this new, the V-Loader iForce, has now become a contender for people for a backup loader. The iForce works just fine at 13 balls per second. I've shot this, in practices and in scrimmages, and it keeps up at 13 balls per second, no problem at all. It is a little bit square, in the back, so it's going to be a little reminiscent of a Pulse, but it sits on top of the gun pretty nice. So I'll show you that. That's what it looks like on top of a Mark. Sits nice and low and keeps up just fine at 13 balls per second. So say for instance you're, like especially here in Florida, you have your standard loader has a speed feed, and it seems like every tournament we play it ends up raining. This is a great alternative, or a great backup loader in case you need one. There he goes. And Vlocity, which one is faster? Honestly, I don't know. Okay, it depends on your gun. It depends on how far you're willing to take it. I don't care how fast my gun shoots. If it shoots 13 balls per second, that's all I need it for. Any higher than that, my team's going to get pulled a penalty. So, obviously, when you get into what I like to call experimental paintball, when you're looking to try to achieve the highest rates of fire possible, you're on your own. You're going to have to probably buy, one of each one of these in order to figure out which is the fastest. Now, here's a tip. Okay, I see people that after about a year of owning a Halo, they start saying, well, my Halo is starting to jam. For some reason, it's starting to jam. I don't understand why it's starting to jam. Okay, for those that race RC cars, you understand that a remote control car has a motor, okay, just like your loader. And that motor has brushes and a commutator. Over time, that starts to wear down. It's the same thing with the loaders. They have a motor, very small one, and over the course of between about 100 to 150 cases, the brushes inside the motor and the commutator are going to start wearing down. So if you've got maybe 100 plus cases on your loader, you're going to have to eventually replace the motor that's inside there. That's why your Halo is jamming. The reason why is because the brushes that are in contact with the commutator, those are completely worn down. All the electricity that's going to it is not spinning the motors, so your loader thinks it's jamming. So, with that said, keep that in mind. I've seen that with some people. They've got loaders that are 2-3 years old. You know what? My loader has always been working, no problems at all. And all of a sudden now it starts jamming like crazy. The reason why is the motor. The motor's only going to last probably 100 to 150 cases, and it's dead. So, I know the next thing people are going to ask, okay, so now we handle the question, which one's the fastest? I don't know. If you're looking for the fastest loader, you're going to have to buy them all. Sorry, you're going to have to buy them all. Because you're going to have to figure out on your own which loader works the best on your gun.